All right. Okay, we got a power scaling this time, bro. Okay, and this is Goku versus Superman, the final answer. I just want to know how many of these we're gonna be doing, bro. How many L's can Goku take with this, bro? I'm tired. Let's check this out, bro. Let's go.
If you've only gotten into power scaling recently or simply weren't on the internet 10 plus years ago, it's kind of hard to describe how absolutely...
Like I said, bro, I'm always anime, bro. I'm always anime. I'm always like anime, then, you know, like, you know, then I like to watch other things too. Like anime, and then it comes to like WL community type stuff. I'm doing this soon. I like anime stuff. Anything involved anime, I'm gonna check it out. Anything got involved with, I guess, like, you know, whatever going on in, like, I guess that WL community and all other stuff, bro. I'm gonna check it out, bro. I'm just a spectator and everything, bro. But I rock with anime all the way.
Omnipresent the debate of Goku versus Superman used to be. From death battles to
death battle. See, I don't know. I gotta rewatch this right here. Cause if death battle, like if we doing rapping, then I might get it to Goku.
epic rap battles and animations, it was the go-to power scaling debate. And even from the very beginning, represented more than just two characters fighting.
Now, I'm not gonna hold you, bro. I know I'm trying to stop yapping, but bro, I love me some Goku. Bro, I gotta be real, bro. Goku ain't being no Superman, bro. I don't know why people keep doing this. Superman just too OD, man. And I don't even like Superman like that, bro. I don't even like Superman, but I'm not gonna sit here and like downplay this guy, bro. Downplay this character, bro. This fictional character, bro. I'm not gonna downplay it, bro, cause it's crazy. And the crazy thing is, I like his dog more. I like the dog more than Superman. I don't know, cause I think the dog used to have a cartoon show, and I used to check that out when I was little, bro. Come on, I like what it ain't Crypto, yeah. And but like I said, I told people, I said, bro, people ain't gonna like this, but I keep telling them, Crypto, the dog, and Solo Goku, bro. But you know, people gonna consider it rage bait, but whatever. That's them, bro.
But it was about all of anime versus all of comics. However, for a while, this debate started to fizzle out as more debates and characters began to become popular. Well, since the early 2010s, Goku and Superman have gotten massively stronger and are stronger than they
This is dope, bro. I ain't gonna hold you though.
Have ever been, despite being a power scaling channel with a focus.
But I do be seeing people be trying to like find like the weakest Superman version and trying to give Goku the upper hand, like, bro. That is crazy, cause I be seeing people be trying to find like the weakest Superman version, bro. That's so wild to me.
On Dragon Ball, I've never actually talked about or shared my opinion on this topic. So this week, with James Gunn's Superman coming out, I can't think of a more perfect opportunity to give my most honest analysis of who wins between the strongest Saiyan of anime and the most powerful Kryptonian of comics.
A Kryptonian, bro. I told y'all, I'm giving the Kryptonian. Even though I love me some Goku, bro, like this fight right here is not it, bro. I feel like, but at the same time, I still don't think it's an L on Goku. Goku look for stronger opponents, bro. Goku want to fight stronger opponents, but I guess they don't like that. Certain people don't like that. Even if Goku lose, bro, the man want to fight stronger opponents, but people still don't like that. So I'm like, oh my god, bro. Jay put Goku up against weak character, bro. That's all we can do.
Goku versus Superman. If you like this kind of stuff, make sure to like, subscribe, and let's jump right into something special. Now, for this video, I will be using the most recent and up-to-date canonical versions.
Now, I don't know too much about Superman, so you got to put me on game, bro. I know a little, but I don't know too much now.
And Superman. So that means the anime / manga version of Goku from Dragon Ball Super and the current post-rebirth version of Superman from DC Comics. For this video, I'll be going over their power progression, feats, and relevant cosmology to give you the best overall picture of their power as I possibly can. Just know that due to how much Goku and Superman content there is out there, there are plenty of other ways to scale them.
Dragon Ball superheroes.
Let's begin with the Man of Steel himself, Superman. Now, for the longest time, scaling Superman was an app.
This me right here. I love this meme, bro. Hey, yo, man, this is bro, this is right here the hardest thing, bro. I know I'm out of touch, bro. Goku wouldn't even be old, but Darkseid, whatever name is.
Absolute mess due to the constantly changing continuities and
even woman. I mean, Superwoman.
Cosmology of DC Comics. Superman the character had been rebooted multiple times between the Golden, Silver Age, Crisis Events, and New 52. Each time becoming a technically brand new character with his own independent scaling.
Wait, what's
did
that?
Not inherently make time becoming a.
I'm gonna say this a tiger, but nah, this is a human in there. I don't know what, bro. Like I said, I don't know too much about these right here, bro.
Technically brand new character with his own independent scaling.
What a blue in here, bro.
That did not inherently make him as strong as previous incarnations. So, for example, a feat of Superman break.
Oh yeah, like Superman can lift lift infinite, whatever that is, and he sneezes away. Like I said, this dude just too much.
Through the limits of infinity in an old comic did not necessarily scale to the current Superman because they were literally different guys. However, due to recent changes in DC Comics, this is no longer an issue. You see, the event Dark Knight's Death Metal was a soft reboot of DC, establishing parts of the cosmology that had formerly been removed, but more importantly, combined all memories and experiences of characters from all previous incarnations into their present versions. In other words, this Superman, at least mentally and experience-wise, is literally every single mainline Superman that has ever come before. Now, this wouldn't necessarily correlate to power, except for the fact that this brand new reborn Superman has repeatedly stated that his mind and body are both stronger than they have ever been before, and things like distance, matter, and space-time are mostly meaningless to him, meaning that this Superman, if it wasn't obvious, scales to literally any other feat that a mainline Superman has ever done that you've ever heard of. Lifting the Book of Infinite Pages, sneezing away a solar system, flying through time, all of these feats would be surpassed even casually by the current day Superman. From this long history, Superman is consistently depicted at the bare minimum universal. There have been numerous feats across Superman's history of tanking explicitly universal attacks, beating universe busters, literal universes, or Superman himself threatening to destroy entire space-time continuums with his own power. I say consistently because, like any comic book character, Superman has showings and feats that
only one he can't really beat is Doomsday, bro. Doomsday is a nasty person. Well, he can beat Doomsday, but at the same time, in the first one, Doomsday. Well, they both been defeated though. It was a draw though, really, because they both died. If you saw the first comment of it all, yeah, bro, like Superman and Doomsday, bro, they both. It was a draw, really. It really was a draw.
Either drastically exceeding or substantially less impressive than those feats. However, over the years, we've been given a multitude of explanations as to why Superman's strength may seemingly vary. Sometimes it's just that he's holding back. Other times it's because he's not in the proper mental state to harness his abilities, and other times he's simply not experiencing enough stress, which allows him to absorb even more solar energy and make himself stronger. Therefore, any Superman feat that...
Bro, this ain't it when he was holding the thing? This is crazy.
Perhaps in below universal was Clark just not being locked in enough. And again, either way, current Superman would necessarily scale above those feats. Frankly though, if Superman was only a universe buster, I wouldn't be making this video. There are a multitude of feats and showings that get Kal-El far higher. Now, I could spend literal hours going over every single possible feat for Superman over the last 80 years of history, but instead I'm going to focus on a couple of feats and statements Superman has gone in the past couple of years or so, starting with the Phantom Zone. Now, the Phantom Zone, as you may know, is usually used as a prison outside of reality where Superman or other characters can send threats that can't be contained anywhere else. But it's actually far more impressive than that. To make an incredibly convoluted, constantly changing and evolving cosmology as simple as possible, this is the map of the DC multiverse that
they can say what they want, bro. I love how the DC
and evolving cosmology as simple as possible. This is the map of the
DC. This is so beautiful to me, bro. Oh my God.
DC multiverse.
Oh my God.
That is still being
this is beautiful, bro.
Be consistently followed and literally shown in recent comics. The big circle in the middle is the entire
this is the Bro, this is so beautiful, bro.
DC multiverse made of physical matter as we understand it. While it does say there are 52 universes there, it's been further expanded upon that there are indeed an infinite number, and that these 52 specifically are just connected via a vibrational frequency as a quote-unquote local multiverse. As stated by writers both in and out of comics, each and every one of these universes are made up of an infinite amount of higher and lower spatial dimensions, which are not to be confused with alternate universes. All of these places are below the next level of the cosmology, which is the God Sphere, with numerous places within the God Sphere being stated to be beyond the bounds of space, time, and the concept of place entirely. It is here where the negative zone resides, having its own statements that it is infinite, endless, boundless, without dimensions, timeless, and distanceless. Superman in older comics was already able to overpower characters like Dominus, who could make his own Phantom Zone. And more recently, Superman outright shakes the Phantom Zone and states that he could destroy the entire Phantom Zone if he wanted to, but ultimately chooses against it. In other words, Superman can already destroy spaces that are limitless and beyond the limitations of an infinite dimensional structure. But if we like, we can go even further. Looking back to the cosmology map again, you can see at the very furthest boundaries that there is a white void called the Source, which is separated from reality by something known as the Source Wall. The Source is one of the highest powers of creation in DC, being beyond everything we've already talked about, once again being boundless, with the Source Wall itself already being beyond every prior mentioned reality and dimension existing before all of it, which would again include the Phantom Zone. This is important because Superman in various contexts has fought, beaten, or overpowered characters empowered by the Source or something similar. He's beaten Metallo while powered by a Source-fueled Mother Box, punched a Brainiac who had literally traveled beyond the Source, has fought and beaten multiple characters powered by the anti-life equation, which is literally the yin to the yang of the Source, and has affected the Source Wall in and of itself on multiple occasions. Now, I can keep going, bringing up other aspects of the cosmology like hypertime, the 5th and 6th dimensions, or the bleed, or talk about Superman's more specific fights against characters like the New Gods, or showings against beings like the World Forger, or talk about feats of other DC characters that have their own scaling that should all be inferior to Superman. But it gets to a point where it becomes repetitive. Hopefully from everything I've said, I've painted a pretty clear picture of what Superman is truly capable of. If you like Superman, let me know any of his crazy feats or scales that I missed and tell me how strong you think he is. Still, the Man of Steel isn't invincible, so can he beat Goku though?
Someone need to do Goku versus Crypto, bro. I'm just calling it like it is, bro.
Now, how can I possibly talk about Son Goku? Despite being a manga character that only has one original text to draw from, in modern times, talking about the power of Goku is nearly as complicated as talking about Superman.
You know what crazy? I was just watching Dragon Ball Z movie with one Broadly yesterday last night. I was watching it. I just don't like how they be doing Broly. I don't like when they make Broly the evil guy. But I'm glad in the Super he's now becoming the good guy. That's my only thing. Like I can stand when they made him turn him to like the bad guy. But he's supposed to be the good guy. I liked him. He supposed to be the good guy, and I'm glad he's the good guy now. So let me start yapping with that.
I mean manga or anime Goku? The anime with or without filler? Does that include the movies? Is that both the Super and Z movies? What about the video games? Even literally this week, as I was writing this video, Toyotaro, the illustrator and writer of the Dragon Ball Super manga, stated that he likes to think that everything official is more or less canon, but that even he isn't the one who decides what is canon to Dragon Ball, and that fans should decide for themselves what is or isn't canon. He even brings up Dragon Ball on and that canon, but that even he isn't the one who decides what is canon to Dragon Ball, and that fans should decide for themselves what
he said the fans.
is or isn't canon. He even brings
so he's saying like only the fans can decide which is canon and which is not? Is that what he's saying? Hold on, y'all. I'm back.
Up Dragon Ball Online, something made way before Dragon Ball Super that contradicts pretty much every other series as something that he personally thinks is canon to himself. So overall, don't think too hard about it. For this video, I'm going to be sticking to the things that at some point have been referred.
Like I said, bro, I'm only sticking to the main timeline that we already used to, man. I'm sticking to the main timeline and that's it. Nothing more, nothing less. I'm not sticking to no CC Goku. I'm not sticking to All the other Goku they talking about, I'm just sticking to the one that I am being shown, that is being shown, the one that I am seeing. Out of the other one, y'all can have it. Cope, cry about it.
Referred to as part of some sort of official history or original work, which would be the Z into Super continuity of both the anime and manga. So no movies, GT, Daima, or video game scaling, with only the latter having any scaling that's better than Super anyways. With that being said, let's begin. Of all manga and anime, one of the best things about Dragon Ball is how relatively stable and progressive the power scaling is between arcs. Long before the era of Versus Battle Wiki Tears, Toriyama was pretty clearly escalating the stakes between arcs by having increasingly large celestial bodies be at stake. Goku almost always finishing the arc far stronger than when he started it. Almost always the new threat of the last arc gets easily beaten by the biggest threat of the new arc. In OG Dragon Ball, the top tiers were consistently blowing up the moon and threatening the destruction of the entire planet. King Piccolo defeats Roshi, who blew up the moon, only to be surpassed by Goku and Piccolo Jr. In the Saiyan Saga, Raditz and Nappa easily defeat the prior arc's main villain Piccolo, establishing that top tiers could easily destroy the planet, with explosions so large they might be able to blow up any planet regardless of size, or maybe even destroy stars. The Namek arc continued with this trend, Vegeta getting repeatedly beaten down by Frieza and his henchmen as power levels massively escalated hundreds of times over to reach consistently into that star-busting tier, the anime version of the arc potentially concluding with beyond solar system level explosions. Frieza would return only to be instantly cut in half by Trunks, man far weaker.
And it's crazy. I've been telling people, tell me who Goku, all Goku killed. I don't know why they keep saying Goku had killed Frieza. I'm like, bro, no, he didn't. He beat him, but he didn't kill him. Beat and defeat are two different things, bro. But let's continue.
Than the androids, who were powerless against Cell, who could blow away the solar system and threaten the existence of all life in the universe. The Buu arc would further escalate the scale of power, with the weakest form of Buu literally one-shotting Dabura, a man who was more powerful than Cell, with the stronger forms of Buu easily wielding power that could wipe out the entire living universe and maybe even the realms beyond it. For years, this is where Goku's power set. He was the strongest in the universe, but in a universe that wasn't really progressing. Even with the movies and continuations like Dragon Ball GT, there was no feat, in my opinion, that escalated Goku's power to a new, particularly multiversal tier. He definitely got stronger, but by the time you hit the universal level, to be anything beyond universal requires a beyond infinite increase in power, something that no amount of misinterpreted guidebooks or Super Saiyan 4 multipliers can achieve. Things would change forever, though, with the introduction of Dragon Ball Super. Even before.
Nah, yo, I like Super, but we all gotta, I know, we all like Super. But overall, we all do gotta agree. I do agree with it, with most people saying. Well, you just gotta look for yourself. It is, yeah. I'm waiting for Super to come out, but yo, I'm not gonna sit here and like, it's mid, bro. I be telling people it's mid, but somehow people think mid is bad. I'm like, bro. It's mid. It's not a bad thing. What? No, that the point began me, bro. Oh, like I said, it whatever though. I accept it that Super is mid, bro. Yeah, we ain't gonna sit here and act like it ain't. But but you know, if you think it ain't mid, then that's on you, bro.
Before Super had become the official name, the two Z films of Battle of Gods and Resurrection F had already hyped up the likes of Beerus and Super Saiyan God as beyond anything that had come before, though they did not offer any impressive feats to actually back up that supposed jump. The Dragon Ball Super anime and manga righted this wrong by clearly stating and showing that Goku and Beerus' punches were going to destroy not only the living universe, but literally everything else in Universe 7, including the Demon Realm, the multiple realms of the afterlife, and the Kai World, all of which are separate space-times which are comparable to the universe. This feat is pretty much as blatant as a low multiversal feat can get, but some have argued that this feat is far beyond multiversal, mostly due to several statements about the Otherworld. Some argue that due to these statements, the Otherworld is actually an outer-versal realm that completely transcends dimensional structures based on the description page from the Dazenshu. However, pretty much every capable translation of this page does not imply this in the slightest, saying that the Otherworld is just beyond the dimensions that humans are aware of, and that—
Bro, the people that say Goku outerverse, bro, you don't even take them serious, bro. Those just fans.
The gods there can look down at the human world, which makes more sense for how it's literally portrayed and how it functions in the story. It's just another universe. Goku would continue to grow even more over the course of the DBS anime and manga, absorbing his multiversal power into his base, unlocking forms dozens to hundreds of times stronger than Super Saiyan God, while battling increasingly powerful threats. Unfortunately, like I mentioned before, it doesn't really matter how many times Goku multiplies his power or surpasses his full power in his base form, because that would still be in the low multi to multiversal tier. There are a handful of fringe arguments to potentially get Goku higher, so let's cover those now. During the Goku Black arc, probably the most impressive canon feat in all of Dragon Ball occurs. It's just that Goku isn't the one doing it, and it's when Zeno erases future Trunks' timeline. Now, due to the nature of timelines in Dragon Ball, this would actually be a low complex multiversal feat, or 5D. The only issue is that Goku obviously never scales to Zeno's power, and literally no one in Dragon Ball, Angel, God of Destruction, or otherwise. Now, potentially, you could argue that Zamasu was
he would just be coping, bro.
Beginning to reach a similar tier of power, as he was beginning to be felt and appear in the present timeline, but he never actually does anything, and this could have just been a hacks ability gained from becoming a universe. Still, given that Goku completely dwarfs Zamasu's power by the Torment of Power, his own strength should be able to do something similar. This might be supported by a handful of statements from guides describing a character's power as beyond the dimension or superdimensional, which arguably might mean 5D as well, but usually within context, dimensions just means literally alternate dimensions rather than higher mathematical spatial ones. So overall, Goku has been a casual multiverse buster for essentially a decade at this point, and since then he's grown massively stronger to the point where he is almost unrecognizable compared to his former self. But is the Saiyan raised on Earth strong enough to take on Superman? The unfortunate truth is that there is really no amount of good faith interpretation that allows Goku to beat Superman. Superman not only has the benefit of essentially more than
it's like I said, I don't even know why we doing this, bro. I don't know why people keep thinking that Goku can beat this guy. I feel like though that's definitely got to be like the young gen, bro. Like the ones that yeah, they got to be the young ones. They don't even check out Superman. Like I said, I don't even check out Superman that much, but I know some stuff about him. Like I said, Crypto can beat Superman, bro. I mean, Crypto can beat Goku, but they don't want to hear that. Well, I'm just leave it alone. But it is what it is, though.
Twice the history of Goku from a pure time standpoint, but also benefits from literally thousands of
Batman with prep time. I'm just saying. Well, I'm just keep quiet on that.
Other comic stories that flesh out the absolute gargantuan scale of the DC cosmos.
Oh my!
Of other comic stories that flesh out the absolute gargantuan.
What Batman is this?
Scale of the DC.
What Batman is that? Oh my goodness!
Cosmology that he's not even in. Something a singular guidebook page from a Daizenshu couldn't possibly hope to match. Even supremely lowballing the DC cosmology and treating the 5th and 6th dimensions as literally the mathematical 5th and 6th dimension, even though they're pretty explicitly not, Superman is still able to shatter the 6th dimension, which is an entire dimensional tier over the high-end 5D low complex multiversal Goku. This analysis has only focused on power, but in pretty much every other metric, Superman consistently has Goku beat. Speed feats and consistent speed.
I never saw this.
Every other metric.
I never saw this right here.
Superman consistently has Goku beat.
What one is this one? I need to check this out. Like he on demon time now.
Speed feats and consistent speed scaling, Superman blitzes. Hacks abilities, Goku doesn't have anything Superman hasn't seen before. And the
but bro, it crazy. I keep telling people this stuff, bro.
Stat difference leaves no opportunity.
I told them Crypto, and also I told you Crypto also would be a hard match for Goku. God, Crypto and Superman, they in the same. God, they powers are equally, bro. But I think the dog got something that Superman doesn't have. It's or I think a little fur better than Superman. It's something, but I just forget, bro.
For conditional victory. Goku might be a more skilled martial artist than Superman, but Superman has come across and even been trained by fighters like Batman, who are even better fighters than Goku is. Now, not being able to beat Superman is not a massive L for Goku or anything.
Well, I'll be telling people, bro, I be saying this is not a bad thing, but people think it's a bad thing. When I put Goku up against stronger opponent, they think it's a bad thing, bro. I put Goku up against Crypto. Crypto win. They think Goku win. But Goku like fighting stronger opponents, like looking for stronger opponents. Of course,
very few characters across all of fiction have a chance against Superman, and that's okay. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Thanks to my members who got to see this video early. And
I like this. I respect that. But yeah, you already know, man. Link about that shit out of good stuff, man.